You're sitting there, shattered. Divorce has you by the throat. And now you've discovered that everything you were taught about being a man was a lie. Listen, in the next few minutes, I'm going to show you exactly why divorce isn't the end of your life, but the beginning of something no one had the courage to tell you. I'm going to reveal the protocol that separates men who emerge stronger from those who spend the rest of their lives dragging themselves through the rubble. And you're going to decide today which side you want to be on, because while you sit there dwelling on the past, thinking you've lost everything, there's an invisible mechanism operating against you. A mechanism that turns men into emotional hostages for years, decades. And the worst part? You think you're fighting to save something when you're actually digging your own psychological grave. Divorce is the collapse of a system. But it's also the chance to rebuild a new, more robust personal system. Think of it as a construction site. Your old building has been imploded. You're in the middle of the debris, dust everywhere, sirens blaring. The issue isn't to mourn the building that fell. The issue is what you're going to build in its place. And even more importantly, with what foundation? Do you think the problem is the loss of your wife? Of the marriage? Of the family as you knew it? No. The real problem is that you're focusing on the demolition when you should be planning the construction. You're looking backward when you should be drawing the blueprint for the future. You're being reactive when you need to be an architect. I'm going to give you the names of the tactics being used against you right now, and you'll recognize every one of them because you're living through it. First, retroactive emotional hijacking. This is when your ex transforms the entire history of the marriage into a narrative, where she was always the victim and you were always the villain. Suddenly, that romantic trip 5 years ago becomes proof that you were always controlling. That special dinner you had becomes an example of how you never truly valued her. Carlos, 48, an IT manager, lived through exactly this. 20 years of marriage thrown away when his wife said she needed to find herself. He spent months trying to salvage something that was already dead, doing couples therapy alone. Do you know the result? He lost time, money, and was even more disrespected in the end. Second, the delayed savior trap. This is when you believe that if you do everything right now, if you prove you've changed, she'll come back. You become an emotional doormat, begging for crumbs of attention, sending messages that are never answered, promising changes no one asked for. It's pathetic and you know it, but you can't stop because you're still addicted to her validation. Third, the progressive financial siege. It's not just about asset division, it's about how every financial decision you make now is being observed, cataloged, prepared to be used against you. That beer with friends becomes proof of irresponsibility. That gym membership becomes selfishness. That money saved becomes an attempt to hide assets. Ricardo, 55, a doctor, went through this. His ex tried to destroy his professional reputation during the divorce. Do you know what he did? He hired a specialized lawyer, cut off direct contact, communicating only through professionals. Did it cost a lot? Yes, but it preserved his sanity, his career, and his children's mental health. Fourth, the erosion of masculine identity. You start to question everything about yourself. Am I man enough? Did I fail as a husband, as a father? This corrosive doubt eats away at you until there's nothing left but a ghost of who you were. And that's exactly what the system wants. A man without identity is a man without the power to react. Fifth, induced strategic isolation. Your married friends distance themselves because you've become a threat to their marriages. Single friends don't understand the depth of what you're going through. Your family tries to help, but only makes it worse with generic advice. And you become increasingly alone, more vulnerable, more prone to making disastrous decisions. Sixth, compulsive rebound syndrome. You think you need to prove you still can, so you jump into any relationship. With any woman who gives you attention, you use the new person as an emotional crutch, as proof that you still have value. But you're just repeating patterns, creating new problems, postponing the real confrontation with yourself. Seventh, the paralysis of toxic nostalgia. You get stuck in memories of what was good, mentally editing the past, forgetting why you ended up in divorce. That photo album becomes a voluntary torture session. That song becomes an emotional trigger. You're addicted to your own pain and don't even realize it. Eighth, the theater of judicial warfare. The legal system becomes a stage where you both perform roles. She is the helpless victim. You are the oppressor with resources. And the more you try to defend yourself, the guiltier you appear. It's a game where the rules were written against you from the start. Ninth, negotiating with the dead past. You keep making impossible mental agreements. If only I had done that differently. If only I could go back in time. If she would just give me one more chance. You're negotiating with ghosts while the present slips through your fingers. 10th, preemptive surrender. You give up before you even fight. You accept any agreement. You waive rights. You throw in the towel because you think you deserve to suffer. It's self-sabotage taken to the extreme, disguised as maturity. Marcelo was 39 when he discovered the betrayal. An entrepreneur, he could have focused on revenge. He could have destroyed her reputation. Do you know what he did? He channeled all that rage into scaling his business. He started training jiu-jitsu. His friends thought it was strange that he didn't collapse. They expected a show of suffering. But Marcelo understood something fundamental. The best revenge isn't destroying the other person. It's building something so solid that the past becomes irrelevant. You are making predictable mistakes right now. I'm going to name each one of them. You're begging her to come back, sending texts at 3 in the morning saying you've changed, showing up at places you know she frequents. That's not love, it's desperation, and desperation pushes away any possibility of respect or reconciliation. You're trying to turn your children into spies or messengers, asking who their mother is dating, sending messages through them. That's not paternal protection, it's dirty warfare. And the children are the biggest victims of this cowardly strategy. You're drowning yourself in alcohol, pornography, games, anything that numbs the pain. You call it a phase, a healing process, but it's an escape. And every day you escape is one less day to build something real. You're posting veiled jabs on social media, motivational phrases that are actually disguised attacks, photos to prove you're doing fine. It's a pathetic theater where you are both actor and audience. You're neglecting your workouts, healthy eating, and routine. Your body is collapsing along with your marriage. And a man without physical health doesn't have the energy to fight the necessary battles. You're consulting everyone about what to do, except the people who truly matter. Listening to your cousin who's never been married. Your friend who's been cheating on his wife for years. Your mother who wants you to come home. It's incompetent advice guiding a lost soul. Now I'm going to give you the protocol. Not what you want to hear, but what you need to do. Set your legal and emotional boundaries immediately. This means stopping responding to provocative messages, communication only about children and practical matters, no discussions about the past, no emotional negotiations. You establish this today, not tomorrow. Every day without boundaries is a day you lose power. Reclaim your financial autonomy now. Open separate accounts. Document everything. Hire an accountant if necessary. Understand that money is freedom, and freedom is the power to rebuild. You're not being petty, you're being strategic. Invest in your physical health as if your life depends on it. Because it does. Gym, nutrition, sleep. Your body is the only thing that truly belongs to you now. It's the foundation of everything you're going to build. A physically strong man thinks more clearly, makes better decisions, naturally attracts respect. Reconnect with your male support network. Not the bar drinkers, not the professional complainers. Men who have built something, who have been through battles and won. Who can give you real perspective, not just a pat on the back. Develop a new personal purpose that doesn't depend on anyone. A project, a goal, a mission. Something that gets you out of bed in the morning beyond obligation. Marcelo chose his business and jiu-jitsu. Ricardo chose to protect his children and career. What will yours be? Face the broken mirror. This means looking honestly at your part in the failure, without self-flagellation, without victimization, just raw truth. What did you do wrong? What did you ignore? What did you allow? This analysis isn't to punish yourself, it's to never repeat it again. Document your reconstruction journey. Journal, videos for yourself, anything. Because 6 months from now, you'll forget how far you've come. And that amnesia is dangerous. You need to see the progress to maintain momentum. The less you beg, the more power you regain. The less you react, the more control you exert. The less you explain, the more respect you command. There are men reading this now who still believe she'll come back, that this is just a test, that if they prove they've changed, everything will go back to normal. Let me be brutally clear. The marriage you knew is dead. Even if you get back together, it will never be the same. And trying to resuscitate a corpse is the definition of insanity. There are men thinking I'm being too cold, too calculating, that love should conquer all. Love without strategy is just guaranteed suffering, and you've suffered enough being emotional. Time to be rational. The cost of inaction is to remain in the same hole, to wake up a year from now and be exactly where you are today, only older, more tired, more defeated. While she has moved on and you're stuck on the construction site, looking at the rubble, waiting for it to magically transform into something. You have two choices. Continue to be a victim of circumstances or become the architect of your own reconstruction. Continue reacting or start building. Continue in the past or create a future. I know it hurts. I know it seems impossible. I know you wish none of this had happened, but it did. And now the only question that matters is what you're going to do with it. Carlos lost months trying to save what was already dead. Marcelo turned betrayal into fuel for growth. Ricardo protected what mattered and let the rest burn. Each one made a choice. What will yours be? Divorce is not the end of your story. It's the end of a poorly written chapter. And you now have the pen in your hand to write the next one, but the ink is drying, time is passing, and every day you delay is a day you don't get back. Think about where you want to be a year from now. Crying over the ruins or inaugurating a new building? Repeating the same mistakes or applying the lessons learned? Being the same man she left or someone unrecognizable because you've evolved so much? The pain you feel now is real. I won't minimize that. But this pain can be wasted in self-pity or invested in transformation. It can be the end of everything or the fuel for the greatest comeback of your life. You are not the first man to go through this. You won't be the last. But you can be one of the few who uses divorce as a springboard, not a grave. Who transforms destruction into opportunity. Who emerges not despite the chaos, but because of it. The system wants you weak, confused, dependent. Society expects you to collapse, beg, humiliate yourself. Your ex counts on your emotional predictability. But what if you broke all those expectations? What if you refused to follow the script? This is the choice. To be another statistic of a man destroyed by divorce. Or to be the exception that inspires others. To be an example of what not to do. Or to be a model of what is possible. To be the man she left. Or to be the man she never imagined you could become. The construction site is there. The rubble is scattered. The tools are available. The plans are on the table. The only thing missing is your decision. And that decision needs to be made now. Not tomorrow. Not next week. Now. Because while you think, time passes. While you doubt, opportunities die. While you mourn, others build. And life doesn't wait for you to be ready. It continues, with or without you. So get up. Shake off the dust. Look forward. And start building. Brick by brick, day after day, decision by decision. Not because it's easy, but because it's necessary. Not because you want to, but because you need to. The man you were died in the divorce. The man you will be is being born now. And the midwife of that transformation is yourself. No one else can do it for you. No one else should. This is the definitive guide. These are the tools. This is the path. Now the question that remains is simple and brutal. Will you continue bleeding over the rubble, or will you start building your personal empire? The choice has always been yours. The power has always been in your hands. You were just too distracted by the pain to notice. But now you know. Now you've seen. Now you choose. And if you choose to build, if you choose to fight, if you choose to be reborn, then welcome to the club of men who transformed their worst moment into their greatest victory. It's not a large club, but it's a club of men who refused to be victims, who chose to be architects. The construction site is waiting. The tools are sharp. The project is clear. The only question now is whether you have the courage to get your hands dirty and build something worthy of respect. your respect. Because in the end, it's the only approval that truly matters. Divorce is not the end. It's the ultimate test of who you really are when everything crumbles, and you're about to find out. The question is, will you like what you find? More importantly, are you willing to transform what you don't like? The clock is ticking. The decision is yours, and the future is waiting for your answer.